Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert. This is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for joining me. I do really appreciate it. And so I gotta tell you, right off the bat, this is a challenge to myself. I'll watch this video in the future and see how well I've done. But here we go. Often it's not easy to think about nothing to talk about. And these are all improv speeches. That's what this show comes down to, is a guy vlogging, improv vlogging his way through his little way in the world. And so I have no idea what we're going to be talking about right now. I will tell you that I will think of something that we can talk about. And I think we are going to talk about different ways that people dress and how it makes them feel. So let's talk about that. I think that when we dress different ways, we feel different ways. Now, let's not get weird here. What I'm saying is empowering. I'm not the dress code enforcement police officer, nor would I ever be such a thing, in that the way that we dress is an absolute representation, I think, of who we are. It could be simple, it could be casual, it could be formal. There are many different messages that are conveyed, I think, just before we even meet somebody based on how that person is dressed. Now, I don't want to get classist here either, in that old school sort of argumentative kind of a way, in that refutes everything I just said as it concerns the empowering of other people to do as they please as it concerns their dress. I feel like the more formal that we dress, the more confident that we feel. I am not the person that has done studies on this. I can assure you, however, that there are studies that empirically lead us to a conclusion that is sort of similar to how we perceive what we're going to digest. We eat with our eyes before our mouth, kind of a thing. And so we might judge somebody based on the cover of the book as opposed to the context or the contents within that concerning the dress of that person. It goes both ways. I'm not using this or talking about this kind of a discussion or this kind of topic in that very classist kind of a way, in that poor people look a certain way and rich people wear suits and fancy dresses and jewelry. It's not always like that. It can be like that. There's a certain little truth to all stereotypes. I just, again, feel that most normal people, which is mostly all of us, unless you're one of the 10,000 people that happen to have a bill in the bank, or one of the other hundreds of thousands that has a few million. I mean, we all have so much more in common than we'd ever like to admit to one another. Seriously. I mean, how many of us don't have $500 in case of a medical emergency? I'll answer that question. More than 80% of us. I'd say that the truth runs deep, and we all have so many more things in common than we do not. So, yes, I mean this in direct correlation. For all of us normal people out there, the way that we dress is one of, if not arguably, one of the only ways to display confidence, to blend in with the rich folk at the country club. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I don't ever quote Pretty Woman, and I absolutely hate the scene where Julia Roberts goes into the store and makes a big old thing and fuss about it, and it's a whole meme. But regardless, that is an example of why not to judge a book by its cover. But again, it's a very extreme example, and something that, again, just doesn't happen to most of us that encounter our experience in life. I feel like when we dress like slobs, and we're privileged and middle class in that perspective, American, you understand, that we don't want to go to work. We're just chilling. We're just Netflix, Hulu all day. It's cool. Not going out. I think it's a little extreme when you wear the pajamas out, but hey, to all my coupled people out there and desperately desperate singles who do go to Walmart in their pajamas, I feel for you. I haven't recently gone to Walmart in my pajamas, but in my most recent relationship with the she who will not be named last year was I'd spent a lot of time at Walmart's in my pajamas. That is a very dark joke, and I don't want to go any further down that path. But true story, I did spend lots of time in different Walmarts wearing my pajamas. That is just something no person should ever be proud of. I'm not proud of that. I'm just saying it is the truth. So we should all be so allowed to roast ourselves permissibly on the World Wide Web in front of everyone to view in real time. How much more authentic of a channel could you possibly visit? Is that what you're doing? Are you visiting this channel? Are you just a visitor? I want you to stay here. Just stay here. Whoa, get all diddy with it. Holy man, I'm gonna stop with the dark cringe humor because it's only gonna lead to dark cringier places. Regardless, the way that you dress is important. It's important for yourself, moreover than it is for how other people perceive you, definitely. But keep in mind that other people do judge, and we are human beings, and as much as we all say we don't stereotype and discriminate, we probably spend lots of our time and day doing just that. Isn't that crazy? I mean, just as a fear kind of reaction because we're fed all of this propaganda since Cold War that we're all out to get each other, and that's the way we should think, because if not, you're not vigilant and bad things will happen to you. I mean, why should we safely assume that everyone's a monster? I don't understand this logic. That really causes a lot of mistrust. And to me, the fundamental pillar of any successful relationship is trust. Without trust, there is nothing. Trust me, there is nothing. Isn't that sort of ironic with the trust and the trust thing? Anyways, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I think I got that from somewhere. Obviously, I did. I'm not sure where, but anyways, I want to watch the movie Waiting. That's what I want to do. Unfortunately, it's an incredibly difficult movie to find IRL at the thrift on tape or DVD. So good luck to me. Again, when we go to work, don't we all cosplay? Don't we all play dress up? Don't we all put on costumes at some point in our lives to allow the outside world to treat us as we are labeled? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? I'm just saying, we do. We literally do that. We put on different costumes. We definitely are not our entire authentic selves while we're out in the general public doing our jobs, because if we were, none of us would have jobs, right? I mean, you're at a job to perform a job, and really, there's little room to be yourself. I still feel like you can, but in order for there to be a successful operation, it's got to be more or less focused on the health of that business. And so, in order to keep everyone there, the magic workings of fiat currency, as defined within the parameters of the modern capitalistic corporate ideology, I don't know. It can be overwhelming, right? You know what I mean? Anyways, the way people dress really does impact the way they are treated, and this is the truth. So it's nice when you're able to dress up. It's nice when you're able to dress down. It's nice to not be one of the few 100,000 people on this planet that have the luxury, quote unquote, of having to really wear that costume every day, all day, for the rest of their lives. The cool thing with at least having somewhat kind of a normal semblance of wealth and the understanding of wealth and its distribution is that um, I just did not forget what I was talking about. We're talking about dress. That was a tough one. We've gotten through the 10 minutes. I'm over it. So I'm just saying, I had no idea what we were going to talk about. We ended up talking about something that's the really cool thing about this channel. I'm always going to try to make it work for you guys. And first and foremost, I won't change, not for anybody ever in that regard. I just feel like this is the only thing I'll ever have to sell that'll ever be worth anything. And I'm hoping that many hundreds of extra thousands of people are willing to buy it. It's me. And so I'm just here chilling in my room, making an old school YouTube video, and that's just the way it's been for the past 6 months. And I really do appreciate you joining me, you seeing all my follies and all of my errors and judgments as I continue to make them. But I feel like I get better each month of my life. I'm looking to grow just a little bit more. And while that could never actually come to truth in the like actual world of me growing taller because I'm old now or whatever, but for the record, I like also stopped growing vertically when I was about 12. So I mean, I should be so lucky. I look like my 12-year-old self with white patches of hair all over my face. How lucky am I? No, really, I am. And so I'm very lucky. And I do appreciate all of you guys joining me. And I hope that you have a wonderful night. Don't drink and drive. And definitely don't get in the car with anyone who's even had a single drink. Figure something else out. Be the best person that you can be and make the best decisions that you can make, even if sometimes the circumstances of which aren't always going to be of your liking. Just make the best decision. It'll always be, and there will always only be one right decision, and that is don't drink and drive. Don't enter into a vehicle with anyone who's had anything at all to drink. I hope that you guys have a really good night, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye.